And welcome, everybody, to another Mark Bishop show, heard across America and around the globe. Well, many people don't realize, I didn't realize this, but how much energy is being wasted by devices that are plugged in and forgotten about. The energy usage in commercial buildings, as an example and related process, accounts for approximately 37% of global CO2 emissions. That's huge. And depending on the type of building, plug loads can account for between 25 and 50% of energy consumption, which places pressure on building owners and managers to help reduce energy consumption. So, big deal. What does all that mean for us, right? Why should we care? Well, we're going to find out because my special guest is Siddhartha, known as Sid Chatterjee. He's the General Manager of Breakthrough Initiatives Building Management Systems at Honeywell Building Automation. Welcome, Sid.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you for having me.
Listen, before we go into this interesting survey, can you tell us about the power usage and energy waste in commercial buildings? If no one is working, how is the energy wasted?
Absolutely. I think you shared a very interesting fact that almost 37% of world's energy consumption is contributed by buildings. And within that, plug loads are actually 25 to 50%. That means almost 10 to 20% of world's energy, think of it, is flowing through that, the plug loads or the sockets that are left almost unnoticed. In a typical office works from maybe 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Almost everything that is connected to an outlet remains connected and is drawing power. Think of the printer, a monitor, a coffee machine, a vending machine. Everything in the office, which is supposed to provide for the people in that office during the office work hours, remains actually connected throughout the work week as well as over the weekend. Because we never unplug them, we never disconnect them, we never switch off them.
Wow. I'm used to seeing, on TV shows or movies or anything else when they show, pan shots of cities with all the tall buildings. All the lights are left on all night, it seems, and over the weekend, but one never thinks of all these other things. When you think about it, that's a lot of equipment left on, isn't it, in each office?
Absolutely. Even a lot of people don't realize things that go into sleep mode or get on a standby, they are still consuming a significant amount of energy. And that's all about what we are trying to bring into this. The technology that we are launching, Connected Power, is all about addressing the energy wastage for leaving devices connected in.
All right. Well, this is the Honeywell Connected Power Survey that I was referring to before, the survey methodology. Why don't you share all about that with us, please, Sid, if you would?
Absolutely. When we did that survey, two very clear outcomes came. Is people are really concerned about energy savings, but they feel that it is mostly the responsibility of the building owner or the facility manager to basically drive that outcome or control what it is. And I think that's where a solution like Connected Power becomes so relevant in addressing the need of the people. Connected Power actually means 100% retrofittable smart outlets that basically allows you to now control a particular outlet as when it should be on and when it should get switched off automatically. So think of that same coffee machine scenario, which is supposed to provide hot coffee to anybody in that office, but that office actually runs from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. only on the work days. So if I can control the plug, that it only provides power between 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. maximum during the work days, I've actually cut down the usage of that coffee machine by almost 60% of its time.
Well, how does that relate to the bottom line? If I was the bean counter, what would that do for my company? Does it show that way at all?
Absolutely. So our initial pilots, and we have some case studies that we have done with a lot of customers across different office spaces. We are able to drive almost on an average around 40% of savings in the plug load consumption. So that 25 to 50% bucket of energy consumption you could have almost a 40% impact by simply putting in schedule of using a particular device when it is needed. And that's direct to the bottom line.
Wow, that puts a different slant on it altogether. I mean, this thing that was conducted by Wakefield Research did 1,000 U.S. office professionals working in office buildings with a capacity of 50 employees. So imagine when it's a lot more, it's a lot worse. But more than 26% of the respondents indicated that they never unplug their devices at work, while 31% unplug only for reasons like troubleshooting and so on. So quite frankly, there's a lot of educating to do. How does Honeywell plan to do that?
And absolutely. And one of the things that we have done, we recently launched actually a calculator. If you go on there and you just put in your devices and put in your office hours, it will throw up a number of how much you could save very easily. And that these are tools that we would use to educate our customers about the potential of impact that we can create by just converting your outlets, your traditional outlets, to the smart connected power outlets.
Okay, so why do you think, of all of those surveyed, right, employees, over 80% of them, they say that their employer is equally as responsible as they are, for controlling power usage? Why do they?
And I think it stems from the fact that think about anybody who is walking into an office is just using that space for a particular period of time. That's one. Secondly, a lot of people don't see the impact of the energy consumption directly. As an employee, I'm not aware whether the building is consuming X dollars per month or maybe 2X dollars per month. So I'm not directly impacted by the consumption of that energy. And they feel that it is somebody else's responsibility to take an impact of that. And that's what we've heard from a lot of people when we go around and talking to our customers. This is where technology comes in.
Yeah.
This is where technology comes in. That if you can automate that capability, that you are really not dependent on any person or a behavior of the employees directly, and make it simple enough that I'm not affecting the convenience of anybody. That means during the office hours, the coffee machine is always powered on and always available for the convenience of the people. But when it is really not needed or not required, basically kill it so that you save the energy that really got wasted during providing for the time when it was not needed.
Okay, so it can go off automatically, and that saves signs, turn the lights off when you're gone and all this jazz. But what happens if you're working overtime or you work back? How do I continue on working?
So this is the interesting piece about the technology, to have the capability to override a preset schedule. So we provide that in our outlets very easily. So there is a button that basically actually overrides the schedule. So let's say somebody turns up over the weekend and he really wants to work on his machine for maybe an hour or so. We give the configurable capability where you can override a particular schedule that has been implemented. So the technology has been built keeping all of those use cases in mind that never disrupt the convenience of anybody who really wants to use the power.
Very good, because that is important. And I gather, Sid, this is for small business as well, because they're the ones that really need the help. I mean, the big corporations, we can say, hey, we're not going to put you off if you unplug everything, but that's going to be done automatically. We've got to save some pennies here. Buildings.honeywell.com is the site, correct? Buildings.honeywell.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, is it all there, this thing, this wonderful connected power? Is it all explained on that?
Absolutely. All information about the offering is there, including a form if somebody wants more information, including how to get it installed in their building, and as well as the calculator that I talked about. Everything is there on that site.
Fabulous.
And then somebody from Honeywell would reach out to them if they need further information as well.
Well, it sounds pretty easy to use, easy to administer, easy to watch. Great job, Honeywell. Well done. And Sid, this comes under your auspices. A pat on the back where it's due, huh?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, it does.
Fantastic. Sid Chatterjee, ladies and gentlemen. He's the general manager of Breakthrough Initiatives. You're not kidding. That's a breakthrough. Building Management Systems at Honeywell Building Automation. Take care, my friend. Talk to you another time.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.